Hello everyone. Here is the first episode of More Than Friends featuring Levi. I do have some notes in front of me, so if you see me looking down, I'm just trying to keep myself a little bit organized because this is an emotional roller coaster for me. So I'm going to try not to be too emotional. I might get that way, but hopefully just by talking, I won't. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. A lot of people will tell you that, you have to love yourself first and da 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 da. And while I think that's bullshit, I don't think you have to love yourself to find somebody to love you. I don't think loving yourself is a pre-qualifier. But while I don't believe that to be true, I do love myself. I've worked very hard on appreciating who I am as a person. When things like this relationship happen, sometimes I do forget that for a moment, but I usually end up remembering I'm fucking badass, okay? I'm pretty cool. Pretty funny sometimes. I mean, I think I'm funnier than a lot of people do think I am, but that's okay. And I mean, I'm not like a 10 on the look scale, but I'm a pretty girl. I'm pretty. And so I do love myself. And so I am genuinely happy being alone. I don't mind it. I don't mind being alone doing my own thing. I have so many hobbies that I never sit down and really, I think I have ADHD a little bit, but I don't settle on any particular hobby. Having said that, I have always known what I was looking for. I'm looking for my best friend, and I really genuinely want a partner in this life. And in October, I thought I found that in Levi. It was the best month of my life, honestly. I thought I had found my perfect match. We talked all the time. So we actually started talking in September, but not seriously until October. Like, it was just casual on online dating. And then in October, there was just one weekend, and we just started nonstop talking all night. Like, I would get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night, if that. And we would talk about everything, and I got really attached really quickly, and so did he. And during that week of talking, pretty much nonstop, like, I would be at work and he would be in my ear, like, nonstop talking. And we decided we wanted to meet. So if he didn't work, he was going to come here, and if he did work, I was going to go to Buffalo, which is like an hour and a half away, where he was working, and we would spend the weekend together. So I ended up doing that, and it was wonderful. It was amazing. We played disc golf, which I had never played before. He took me up on his sky lift, took me up in the sky, and it was all sweet and cute, and we were cute, and it was great. Okay, it was amazing. And after that weekend, it was just like, okay, when are we going to see each other next? Okay, next weekend, awesome. We didn't wait till that next weekend, I don't think. I think he ended up coming to Casper on that Wednesday. And from that moment, we were pretty much inseparable. Like, we talked all the time. We, like I said, like, when he was at work and I was at work, we were even on our phones then. And he was just in my ear. And sometimes we weren't talking all the time, but sometimes we were. And we were just inseparable and happy. And his ex wouldn't let me meet the kids, so he was having a tough time with that. But we did end up meeting. I did end up meeting his girls at some point, and they seemed to like me a lot. Regardless of what the mom wants to feel or say. She probably started poisoning them pretty quickly against me, as you can probably guess. Let's see, let me make sure I'm on my notes here. Yeah. So we spent every moment those next 3 weeks together, pretty much, except for from like that Sunday to Wednesday that we weren't. And then it came Halloween, and at that time I still wasn't able to meet the girls, and so he was going to go home for the weekend, spend it with his girls. I did know that Alexis lived with him, and she was supposed to not be staying there while he was there. She was like staying somewhere else, whatever. I don't know that I believe that now. But that was what I was told. And I trusted him. I trusted him so much. I just believed everything he fucking said. Like, he told me, like, I hate this girl, like, blah, blah, blah. We've been together for 10 years. The last 5 have been miserable. She's cheated on me constantly. Da 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 da. Okay, so, anyways, so our conversations and how deeply we connected, I just believed him, and I had every faith that he was going to go there and he wasn't going to cheat on me. But he did. So Halloween weekend was very weird for me. It was the first time in the 3 weeks that we'd been apart, and he was hanging out with her. I knew that. I knew they were going like trick-or-treating together. But he didn't talk to me much, and I was getting very insecure about it. And he actually said something to that effect. He's like, "Are you sure you're not letting your insecurities get to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, it feels weird because I haven't been able to talk to you as much," and da 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 da. So him saying that and knowing what I know now, it's just, wow. But anyways, he came back after the weekend. He didn't say anything to me. He just said, "Oh, I miss you, blah, 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 blah." We had sex and carried on like everything was normal. And then, that Tuesday, I went to work, and I was sitting at work, and one of his other exes messaged me, laughing in my face, saying that he had cheated on me. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, "Well, they had sex the last time he was in town. What, like 3 days ago?" And I mean, I lost it. I just started crying, and I called him at work, and he was working, and so he wouldn't leave work. He's like, "I'll be up. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come. We'll talk tonight, whatever." But he had cheated on me. He had slept with Alexis that weekend. Came back, slept with me without even telling me that he had slept with Alexis. And I don't think, honestly, he would have told me that he did until much later, if ever, had Haley not said anything. But she did, and I knew. And I wanted to work it out so badly because of how deeply I felt we connected. So we just set a boundary, like, only have conversations with her about the kids, which he constantly violated. And we're supposed to be working through it, and it's hard. And I will say that in the future, somebody that does me like that, well, for one, probably won't even last past that moment, but also I would never let somebody break that boundary as many times as he did. It should have never been broken again, right? If he really wanted to work it out. Clearly, we know now that he never wanted to work it out. But he constantly broke that. She brought up our sex life one time because we had sex while the kids were at the house, which the kids didn't know, but she guessed and brought that up, which is highly inappropriate. He would talk to her about the men that she was seeing and get jealous, and it was really weird, and I would bring it up, and it was just like, no, I hate that she's bringing those people around my kids, but clearly that wasn't it. And they also talked about money a lot, and I realized they were together, but they weren't together anymore. And after he cheated on me with her, he did like make it very clear that she needed to move out, and so she did, and she moved out, and then I could actually go to Gillette and hang out and see. We saw his kids and stuff every weekend after that, pretty much. We went to Gillette, which kind of felt like a punishment in itself for me. Like, I have to be away from my home. Then shortly after all of this, there was a posting that one of his friends sent him on Are We Dating the Same Guy? And she actually convinced him that it was me, which it was not. I'm not even on any of those sites. I used to be, and I had to delete them because it was really depressing. Like, there's no honest men out there. Women are just as bad. Like, we're all just evil. And so I had to get off of them. But he was posted on there. Somebody saying, we have a really great conversation. I don't know, blah, 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 blah. And he convinced me that he thought it was Alexis. So I took it as that. And we just kind of forgot about it. But that should have been another sign to me, right? Like, somebody else is asking, are we dating the same guy? And so, dumb. There was a time when Alexis messaged him at like 4 o'clock in the morning and asked if we could all have a threesome. Again, highly inappropriate. He never put her in her place. There was like hour-long phone calls that he would have with her that he said he was just arguing with her. And then one of the last times that I really got upset, she had sent him a text about, if you'd like those lingerie pictures from blah, 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 just let me know. Which he said was her being manipulative and saying that she was prettier than me because he was choosing me. Again, I don't believe anything that he was saying now, but at that time I believed him. And then at the beginning of December, we found out I was pregnant. And he was very excited. He kept telling everybody, and even though I probably would have kept it a little more secret for a while, he wanted to tell everybody, so I let him. And he eventually told Alexis, which I don't understand why. There was a night he left work at 3:30, and it was like December 22nd. He left work at 3:30, and I didn't see him until 8 o'clock that night. And during that time frame, he told me he was looking for a church to go pray in. But he also had calls and texts back and forth with Alexis. And he had said that he had told her that I was pregnant, and she sent him pictures of his daughter who had passed away last May of cancer. And this was after she had passed away, pictures that apparently, supposedly, he never had seen and never wanted to see. And she had sent them these, does she know about this? Like, does she know about the cancer? Which I did, but I guess that set him off. And he got drunk, whatever. And he came home at 8 o'clock, and I was like, there's no fucking reason for this, right? And I told him, well, you should leave. So he did. He left. At that time, I hadn't known that he was drinking, but he did get pulled over and got a DUI. And I spent that next day sitting through court and then bailing him out. And when I bailed him out, we agreed. Absolutely no more calls with her. None. Like, you will text about picking up the girls and stuff. And he agreed to this. Even a couple days later, it was, this is ridiculous. This is outlandish is the word he always liked to use with me. Is outlandish. Outlandish. Like, no, it's not. You cheated on me with this woman and then got a DUI from being emotional about this woman. Like, anyways, during this time, I had paid for all of his kids' Christmas. I was paying for food for both my house and his house because his son was living there with his sister. And so I was buying groceries for 2 households. And he owes me a lot of money. His son's PlayStation came, Alexis's sister came and got that. And I felt bad for his son. So I said, well, I can put this on my Best Buy card and we can get him a PlayStation and it'll be fine. You can just pay me back. Whatever. So the point is, lots of money. He was very much using me. I know that now. It was a consumption thing. I had a lot to give. And because of the person I am, I give it to people who I love. So New Year's Eve, his girls called to say what they were doing and say goodnight and Happy New Year, da 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 da. And then Alexis got on the phone, and instantly I did get upset. Like, he should have been hanging up with that, right? Hit the red button, but he didn't. And he talked, and then I timed it. It was for 3 minutes. He didn't even notice that I got up and left the room. He's like, you were right there. Like, no, wasn't. But regardless, he was breaking the boundary again. And I said, it's time for you to go then. So he left. And he messaged me a little bit late that night saying he was out of service. But really, come to find out, he was with Alexis. And he basically has been there ever since. There's been 1 or 2 nights that he hasn't left, that he stayed at his house with his son. Other than that, he's been staying with her. And I've attempted to talk to him so many times, like, you know, I'm pregnant, okay, so my emotions are high anyways, and this person that I loved and was trying to work through things with just abandoned me, and I couldn't even get a hold of him. I couldn't talk to him about anything, nothing, not even, like, I had gotten Spectrum in my name at his house. I couldn't talk to him about that. The money he owes me, couldn't talk to him about that. Our relationship, our child that is currently living a bit amongst me, you know, like, nothing. And there was a couple weeks ago where he did finally answer me, and he was saying, I'm so sorry, I've just been a mess, and I'm gonna go to counseling, and said that we could meet. I got him to agree to meet with me, and I'm like, well, where? And he's like, well, call me back later. And then I called him back, and he's like, well, I got the missionaries here, and call me back. And then Friday, when we were supposed to call and talk again and figure out place and time, he stopped responding, stopped answering my calls. And I was devastated. I had one voice message that I was just like crying and begging, like, please don't do this. Don't do this. And he just was able to ignore that. So, anyways, it's been like that. He's just completely ignored that I existed. I stopped giving him any information about, like, the pregnancy. I don't think he deserves to know that if he's gonna walk out like that. I've tried to get a hold of him about his personal things. I sent him a box of stuff that I found. I still ended up having his fossil research. And the last thing that I heard from him was on Thursday. And he said, I got it written down here. Crystal, I wish I could find the words to express just how awful I truly do feel about how dirty I did you. You are unbelievably amazing. You're perfect in every way. And to that I said, don't. No more breadcrumbs. That's what he was doing. He was feeding me breadcrumbs so that I would stay on the line for him. But he's destroyed that. He has destroyed any opportunity for us to ever be friends or friendly even. And there's no chance that I'm ever letting my baby around that person, that woman that he has told me so many evil things about. I mean, he even told me that he knows for a fact that her and her friends murdered somebody. Yeah, I'm talking real murder. He can't prove it. But he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt. And he's choosing that. He's choosing that lifestyle. The only thing I can think of is sex, drugs, and alcohol. With me, that wasn't going to be the thing anymore, you know? So, I'm having this baby. And I hope this baby comes out healthy, regardless of what Alexis has wished upon my baby. I had a conversation with her on Christmas Eve, and she basically wished my baby Down syndrome and cancer. So, if you're a prayer, maybe pray about that. But send positive vibes. This was my first episode of More Than Friends. We were more than friends, and now we will never be anything close to friends, which is what it is, I guess. But for those who stuck with it and listen to the story. I'm hoping getting my story out there will help somebody who maybe comes into a situation like this. It's hard when you love somebody, even though it was a very quick romance. I was trauma bonded to him because of the up and the down and the fighting for him, and come to find out, he never loved me even a little bit. If he loved me even an ounce, he wouldn't have been able to just ignore his pregnant partner, ex-partner. Anyways, I might do follow-up videos to stories that I tell if there's a lot of questions. So if you have questions about this relationship, let me know. I can answer questions. You can send me messages. I'm sure family and friends are the only ones that are going to be watching this. In this jar, I have names of the other relationships that have been important to me in my life. So I'm going to draw one out here and see who we will be talking about next. Christopher! So that will be baby daddy number 2. Christopher and I are friends now, though. So, but we do have a story, and it's a good one. So stay tuned for more than friends, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I love you. And don't let the world get you down. Even though this has been one of the hardest things I've ever been through, I will not let it change me. Love is a beautiful thing. Love does not hurt. The lack of love hurts. So, don't let somebody else's lack of love change who you are and how you love.